Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 4, The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 17, Text 13. Iti vyabhasito buddhya pagrihita sarashana Sandhadhe Vishikambhume Krudastripurahayata. Having arrived at a conclusion, the king took up his bow and arrow and aimed them at the earth, exactly like Lord Shiva, who destroys the whole world out of anger. Purport. King Pṛthu found out that the cause for the scarcity of food grains. He could understand that it was not the people's fault, for they were not lazy in executing their duties. Rather, the earth was not producing sufficient food grains. This indicates that the earth can produce sufficiently if everything is properly arranged, but sometimes the earth can refuse to produce food grains for various reasons. The theory that there is scarcity of food grains is due to an increase of population. The theory that there is a scarcity of food grains due to an increase of population is not a very sound theory. There are other causes that enable the earth to produce profusely or to stop producing. King Pṛthu found out that the proper causes and took the necessary steps immediately. Text 14. Pravepamanadharani nishamyodayudam chatam gausatya padravadbita mrigiva mrigayudruta. When the earth saw that King Pṛthu was taking his bow and arrow to kill her, she became very much afraid and began to tremble. She then began to flee, exactly like a deer, which runs very swiftly when followed by a hunter. Being afraid of King Pṛthu, she took the shape of a cow and began to run. Purport. Just as a mother produces various children, both male and female, the womb of Mother Earth produces all kinds of living entities in various shapes. Thus it is possible for Mother Earth to take on innumerable shapes. At this time, in order to avoid the wrath of King Pṛthu, she took the shape of a cow. Since a cow is never to be killed, Mother Earth thought it is wise to take the shape of a cow in order to avoid King Pṛthu's arrows. King Pṛthu, however, could understand this fact, and therefore he did not stop chasing the cow-shaped earth. Text 15. Tam anvadhavatadvainya kupito charunekshana saram dhanushi sandhaya yatra yatra palayate. Seeing this, Maharaj Pṛthu became very angry and his eyes became as red as the early morning sun. Placing an arrow on his bow, he chased the cow-shaped earth wherever she would run. Text 16. Sadisho vidisho devi rodhasi chantaram tayo davanti tatra tatrainam tadharshanudyatayudam. The cow-shaped earth ran here and there in outer space between the heavenly planets, and the earth between the heavenly planets and the earth, and wherever she ran, the king chased her with his bow and arrows. Text 17. Loke navinda tatranam vainyan mrityor iva praja trasta tada nivavrite hridayena viduyata. Just as a man cannot escape the cruel hands of death, the cow-shaped earth could not escape the hands of the son of Vina. At length, the earth, fearful, her heart aggrieved, turned back in helplessness. Text 18. Uvacha cha mahabhagam dharmhagyapana vatsala trahimam api bhutanam palhane vastito bhavan. Addressing the great opulent king Pṛthu, as the knower of religious principles and shelter of the surrendered, she said, "Please save me. You are the protector of all living entities. Now you are situated as king of this planet." Purport. The cow-shaped earth addressing King Pṛthu as Dharmagya, which refers to one who knows the principles of religion. The principles of religion dictate that a woman, a cow, a child, a brahmana, and an old man must be given all protection by the king or anyone else. Consequently, Mother Earth took the shape of a cow. She was also a woman. Thus she appealed to the king as one who knows the principles of religion. Religious principles also dictate that one is not to be killed if he surrenders. She reminded King Pṛthu that not only was he an incarnation of God, but he was situated as the king of the earth as well. Therefore his duty was to excuse her. Text 19. Sattvam jigham sashekasmad dinham akrita kilbisham ahanisyat katam yosham dharmagya iti yomata. The cow-shaped earth continued to appeal to the king. I am very poor and have not committed any sinful activities. I do not know why you want to kill me. Since you are supposed to be the knower of all religious principles, why are you so envious of me? And why are you so anxious to kill a woman? Purport. The earth appealed to the king in two ways. The king who knows religious principles cannot kill anyone who has not committed sinful activities. Apart from this, a woman is not to be killed, even if she does commit some sinful activities. Since the earth was innocent and was also a woman, the king should not kill her. Text 20. Praharanti nabhaistrishu kritagasvapi jantava kim uta tvad vidharajan karuna dina vatsala. Even if a woman does commit some sinful activity, no one should place his hand upon her. And what to speak of you, dear king, who are so merciful? You are a protector, and you are affectionate to the poor. 21. Mam vipatya jaram navam yatra vishvam pratistitam atmanam cha prajaschema katam ambasi dasyasi. The cow-shaped earth continued, My dear king, I am just like a strong boat, and all the paraphernalia of the world is standing upon me. If you break me to pieces, how can you protect yourself and your subjects from drowning? Purport. Beneath the entire planetary system is the Garbha water. Lord Vishnu lies on this Garbha water, and from his abdomen a lotus stem grows, and all the planets within the universe are floating in the air, being supported by this lotus stem. If a planet is destroyed, it must fall into the water of Garbha. The earth therefore warned King Pṛthu that he could not gain anything by destroying her. Indeed, how would he protect himself and his citizens from drowning in the Garbha water? In other words, outer space may be compared to an ocean of air, and each and every planet is floating on it, just as a boat or islands float on the ocean. Sometimes planets are called dvip, or islands, and sometimes they are called boats. Thus, the cosmic manifestation is partially explained in this reference by the cow-shaped earth. Text 22. Pṛthur uvacha Vashudhe tvam vadhisyami Machchasana paranmukim Bhagham barhishi yavrinte natanoti chanovasu. King Pṛthu replied to the earthly planet, "My dear Earth, you have disobeyed my orders and rulings. In the form of a demigod, you accepted your share of the yajnas we performed, but in return, you have not produced sufficient food grains. For this reason, I must kill you." Purport. The cow-shaped earthly planet submitted that she not only was a woman but was innocent and sinless as well. Thus she argued that she should not be killed. Besides, she pointed out that being perfectly religious-minded, the king could not violate the religious principles that forbade killing a woman. In reply, Mahārāja Pṛthu informed her that first of all, she had disobeyed his orders. This was her first sinful activity. Secondly, he accused her of taking her share of the yajnas or sacrifices, but not producing sufficient food grains in return. Text 23. Yavasam jagdyanudinam naibhadogyadu sampaya tasyam evam hidustayam dando natra nasyasyate. Although you are eating green grass every day, you are not filling your milk bag, so we can utilize your milk. Since you are willfully committing offenses, it cannot be said that you are not punishable due to your assuming the form of a cow. Purport. A cow eats green grasses in the pasture and fills her milk bag with sufficient milk so that the cowherdsmen can milk her. Yajnas or sacrifices are performed to produce sufficient clouds that will pour water over the earth. The word paya can refer to both milk and to water. As one of the demigods, the earthly planet was taking her share of the yajnas, that is, she was eating green grass, but in return she was not producing sufficient food grains. That is, she was not filling her milk bag. Pṛthu Maharaj was therefore justified in threatening to punish her for her offense. Text 24. Tvam kalavoshadhi bijan Prakristani svayambhuva namunchasyatma rudhani mam avaghyaya mandadi. You have so lost your intelligence that despite my orders you do not deliver the seeds of herbs and grains formerly created by Brahma and now hidden within yourself. Purport. While creating all the planets in the universe, Lord Brahma also created the seeds of various grains, herbs, plants, and trees. When sufficient water falls from the clouds, the seeds fructify and produce fruits, grains, vegetables, etc. By his example, Pṛthu Maharaj indicates that whenever there is a scarcity in food production, the head of the government should take steps to see why production is being held up and what should be done to rectify the situation. Text 25. Amusham chud paritanam artanam paridevitam samayasyami madbanair binhayastava medasa. Now with the help of my arrows I shall cut you to pieces, and with your flesh satisfy the hunger-stricken citizens, who are now crying for want of grains. Thus I shall satisfy the crying citizens of my kingdom. Purport. Here we find some indication of how the government can arrange for the eating of cow flesh. It is here indicated that in a rare circumstance when there is no supply of food grains, the government may sanction the eating of meat. However, when there is sufficient food, the government should not allow the eating of cow's flesh just to satisfy the fastidious tongue. In other words, in rare circumstances when people are suffering for want of grains, meat eating or flesh eating can be allowed, but not otherwise. The maintenance of slaughterhouses for the satisfaction of the tongue and the killing of animals unnecessarily should never be sanctioned by a government. As described in the previous verse, cows and other animals should be given sufficient grass to eat. If despite a sufficient supply of grass, a cow does not supply milk, and if there is an acute shortage of food, the dried up cow may be utilized to feed the hungry masses of people. According to the law of necessity, first of all, human society must try to produce food grains and vegetables. But if they fail in this, they can indulge in flesh eating. Otherwise, not. As human society is presently structured, there is sufficient production of grains all over the world. Therefore, the opening of slaughterhouses cannot be supported. In some nations, there is so much surplus grain that sometimes extra grain is thrown in the sea, and sometimes the government forbids further production of grain. The conclusion is that the earth produces sufficient grain to feed the entire population, but the distribution of this grain is restricted due to trade regulations and a desire for profit. Consequently, in some places there is scarcity of grain, and in other places profuse production. If there were one government on the surface of the earth to handle the distribution of grains, there would be no question of scarcity, no necessity to open slaughterhouses, and no need to present false theories about overpopulation. Text 26. Actually, we'll end here for today, and we'll continue on Friday from text 26. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Mahārāja ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Shanta Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees. Sama Bhaktivedanta Vrinda ki Jai. Jai Navadvip Dham ki Jai, Nishingapali Dham ki Jai, Mayapur Dham ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju ki Jai. Ganga Mayi Yamuna Mayi ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham ki Jai, Sham Kund Radha Kund ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi ki Jai. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki Jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagya ki Jai. Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari 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 Bol.